Hi, I'm Katie.
And I'm Winter.
We're from Period 4 Chemistry class, and I have learned to a B
I'm trying to get to an A.
level, following concepts from the first 11 chapters of our chemistry book. This is not an inclusive list, but my selection of conceptions from each chapter that I will remember. For chapter 1, I learned about the different types of chemistry, such as organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, biochemistry, analytical chemistry, physical chemistry, pure chemistry, and applied chemistry. In chapter 2, I learned about mixtures such as heterogeneous and homogeneous mixtures. Heterogeneous is when the composition of it is not mixed fully, and for homogeneous, it's when the composition is fully mixed throughout. In chapter 3, I learned that SI units of measure and prefixes are important because if you get them mixed up, you might get the different units for different measurements. In chapter 4, I learned about the theories from people like Dalton and Democritus of their atomic theories. In chapter 5, I learned about the different atomic models like Rutherford's model and Bohr's model. In chapter 6, I learned the different types of elements such as metals, nonmetals, and metalloids, and how to look at a periodic table.
In chapter 7, we learned what ions were, which are basically they're different variations of elements. They have more or less neutrons. And we learned what valence electrons were and how the octet rule works. We also learned the difference between ionic and metallic bonds. In chapter 8, we learned how to write molecular formulas and electron dot structures, and what molecular orbitals were and how they differ for all the different layers. In chapter 9, we learned about the difference between cations and anions, which are positively and negatively charged molecules, respectively. And we also learned about how to write the names of molecular compounds and for acids and bases as well. In chapter 10, we learned about what moles were and the 3 different ways to measure matter, which is by volume, by mass, and by count. In chapter 11, we learned about what the difference between a skeleton equation and a balanced equation, one of which being the balanced equation has conservation of mass, so it has the same number of elements on both sides, whereas the skeleton equation just shows the raw formula. In chapter 12, and we didn't get to chapter 12, but we're going to do it next semester.
Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, that's all.
Yay! All right, well.